I'm so in love with you. You just hug me and give me warmth. It could took away my pain and you let me feel.
Hey, it's Hersh, and today I'm going to be doing a chill draw with me session while also reviewing some products Hippie Crafter sent me. Hippie Crafter is a brand that sells professional grade arts and crafts supplies, and today I'm going to be trying out their watercolor paper and watercolor pencils. So this is the first thing that they sent me, which is their 72 pack of watercolor pencils, which I'm unboxing right now. If you don't know what watercolor pencils are, they're basically kind of like water soluble colored pencils. So once you put them down on the paper, you can then use a paintbrush that has a little bit of water in it, and then once you paint over the colored pencil, kind of give you a watercolor effect, if that makes any sense. And there are various ways that you can use them, but that's how I'm going to be using them in today's video. So here is the packaging, and here's the box that it came in. I have to say, I really love the box. It has a really matte, sleek finish. I love the little logo on the top, and I also like how the lid, it doesn't like completely come off. It's still attached to the box, which is something that I really like. So here's the thank you card that they sent me. It has all their products on it, and it also has some stuff about their social media and the brand themselves. So I think that's very nice to get to know them a bit more and see if you want any other products of theirs. And here are the colored pencils. So this, as I said before, this is the 72 set of colored pencils. They came in 3 different trays. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of like the trays that most colored pencil brands give the colored pencils in. In the end, I do usually like take all the colored pencils out of the trays and I just dump them into the box once I get like familiar with what colors are in the set, basically, because it's kind of hard to sift through the different trays and see like what colors there are and where they are. So that's what I'm probably going to be doing. But here are the different color sets. I think that has a pretty good color selection from first glance, and I'm definitely excited to try all of these out. They also sent me 2 of their watercolor paper pads. I originally only thought that they were going to send me 1, but they sent me 2. It's 11 by 15 inches, I think, and is 140 lb, aka 330 GSM, and the color is natural white. I also really like the texture of this paper because it's not overly textured, where it's kind of like annoying to draw on it, especially if you're using like a fine liner or something. But it's also not completely smooth, because I personally feel really uncomfortable when I'm like sketching on smooth paper. It just feels really weird to me. So I really like this paper. It's also super thick, which I really like. So now we get on to the swatching, and I actually didn't film me swatching all of the colored pencils, because honestly there wasn't really much to say about the swatching, but here's how I was swatching them. I think that there's a pretty good color selection with warm tones, cool tones, mid tones. A lot of the colors are also very bright and saturated, but there also are a lot of pastel shades as well. I would have liked to see a little bit more skin tones, because there was only like 1 light skin tone that worked, and that was a little bit too saturated for me. So I definitely would have liked to see them include a little bit more skin tones, but other than that, there really isn't anything to say. And yeah. So now I'm starting out with the sketching of today's video's piece, I guess. So today I'm going to be drawing Giona from Genshin Impact. I've been wanting to draw her for such a long time, because her character design is, oh my god, it is so adorable. I love the little cat ears and her hat. And I was actually thinking about drawing haikyuu as well as Giona, but I just didn't have time this week. Speaking of Genshin Impact, they released a new Hutao banner. It's the rerun, and actually last time that there was a Hutao banner, I don't think I was playing Genshin Impact, so I didn't manage to get her. Right now, I think I've done 67 pulled so far, so I'm getting close to pity, and I really hope that I do end up getting Hutao. I spent all my primo gems already that I've been saving up, and honestly I didn't have that much saved up, because I did spend like half of them on the child banner. But thinking back now, I probably wouldn't have spent it if I could, because if I knew that the Hutao banner was coming, because I definitely really need a pyro, because right now I only have Amber as my pyro. I haven't done the Spiral Abyss yet, so I haven't managed to get Zhongling. And also, I don't think I haven't really wished that much. I haven't rolled that much in Genshin Impact, so I definitely don't have a lot of 4 stars other than the starter characters. And of course, I do have the Traveler, and I think I also got Alloy, who is the 5-star that Genshin Impact gives once you reach level 20, I think. So those are basically the only like generally characters that I have other than the starter characters. But I do like using the starter characters, and I know that they aren't like that bad. Like if you don't level them up and their skills and everything, they are still really good. So as I said before, I was going to draw Sayu because Sayu, Diona, Thoma, and of course Hu Tao make up the banner. And I have already drawn Hu Tao in like one of my previous Sketch With Me videos. And Thoma, I did do a lot of sketching of him in my sketchbook as well. Speaking of which, I will be coming out with a sketchbook tour soon, probably next week because I'm almost done with the sketchbook. But anyways, yeah, and Sayu, I will definitely be drawing her soon. I still haven't gotten around to drawing her, but I just really wanted to draw Diona because I love her color scheme. And I also feel like I really like her color scheme, and I think that a lot of the colors that Diona has are in this set. So that is also why I drew her. And so now I am done with the sketch and I'm starting on with the lining. So because I'm using watercolor pencils, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do the lining like now or if I wanted to wait until after I did the colored pencil drawing, and if I just wanted to work with like a more finished kind of refined sketch. But I decided to go in with the liner anyway because I wasn't going to be like drenching this in water because they are watercolor pencils, not watercolors, and that's a big difference. And honestly, don't blame me if I use them wrong or if like I'm not using them the same like the way that you're supposed to, because honestly I'm not really sure how you're supposed to use them. I did have a set of watercolor pencils before, but I never used them as watercolor pencils. I just used them as regular colored pencils, and I did like all the stuff that you were supposed to do with regular colored pencils. I never actually went in with water and did the watercolor effect with them or anything. So I'm kind of new to this, but at the same time I do have some experience using them. So I do want to mention that the colored pencils are like they have a harder tip than Prismacolors per se. I think that's because these are wax based, whereas Prismacolor colored pencils are oil based, meaning that Prismacolors they're like lead, the cores that they have, it's a lot more creamy and it's easier to blend than these. But these are watercolor pencils, and also these are a lot easier to get precise details with, which is something that I think is very nice because whenever I use Prismacolor colored pencils, I can't really get them really sharp because that they're oil based, and so I feel like I'll definitely like using these for the detail work that I'll be doing, because all my drawings when I am drawing like Genshin Impact characters or other characters for my story or anyone, a lot of them have like lots of details, so this will definitely be a lot easier for me to use. Also, it is so satisfying, like this part when I'm coloring in her hat, for me to just like see the speed paint or like the time lapse of me coloring it in. I'm not sure why, but it's so satisfying. This is how it looks before I started adding the water. And so now I took a paintbrush that I had, a watercolor brush, and I added a little bit of water in. I think if you add too much water, it'll end up looking a little bit splotchy, and it will look very I don't know how to explain it. It'll look very blotchy and like kind of not as even, I guess. And I think that did happen with Diona's hat a little bit, and a little like a small area of her pants or shorts. I'm not sure what they are, but other than that, I think it went pretty smoothly. I really like how the hair came out. And after I did the first original water, like after I went in with adding the water to the colored pencils, I then went ahead and I went over everything with the colored pencils again to just burnish it, kind of like I do with my realism drawings. And so yeah, here I'm doing that, and I'm adding some details. So now I do want to talk for a bit about how the colored pencils work and whether or not I recommend them. So they work really well, honestly, and I didn't face any issues at all while using them. I would definitely recommend them, especially given how inexpensive they are, and they're definitely a lot more affordable than other colored pencils like Caran d'Ache or Faber-Castell or even Prismacolor. So I would definitely recommend them to you guys, especially if you're just someone who's starting out with colored pencils, or if you already have oil-based colored pencils like Prismacolor, then you should definitely definitely try getting these because they are wax based, as I said before, so that'll make it a lot easier to add the details. The only thing that I would have liked to see them do is add a little bit more skin tones, because I didn't see any dark skin tones that they had there. A lot of the darker colors were a lot more muddier, and they were like a lot more desaturated, I guess, so I would have liked to see some more rich dark tones. But other than that, the set is amazing. I would definitely recommend it to you guys. It's very inexpensive, and they also have a really good color selection with both pastels, lights, darks, midtones, saturated colors, pastel colors, like I said before. So I would definitely recommend them. So I will be linking these down below if you guys want to purchase them. And also a big thank you to Hippie Crafter for sending all these to me. I hope you guys liked watching today's video, and I will be coming out with the sketchbook tour soon, hopefully. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
師範の指示に従っただけなので、お礼を言われる筋合いはないから。